Once upon a time, in a land far, far away stories have been passed and told. These tales were enchanting and comforting. One even might hint that these stories are child-friendly. However, they often lack the cruelty that is intrinsically woven beneath the surface. In the original versions of these tales, there was no happily ever after and definitely no such things as Christianity. Instead, they emphasize harsh realities of power struggle, greed, some sacrifice in order to be rewarded, and women who had to endure service just to be freed. Now listen closely, my dear. This was not just a mirror story, but a plea to be heard, an outcry for justice and the right to speak their truth. Tonight, these figures return not as ones that you've been told of, but ones to be remembered.
I remember how I did not fall in love with the beast, but was manipulated to love my captor under emotional guilt.
I, on the other hand, had to stay submissive and endure the many attempts of murder in order for me to be saved and granted protection.
Me too. The only reason why I survived is because of my obedience and tolerance. Due to this, I was stamped as a noble longing to survive. Many criticize me for being what do they call it? Oh yes, a tyrant.
Let's just say her harshness and violence aren't just her personality, but rather the consequences of what authority can become when it's in the wrong hands.
Now, don't interrupt me. You are breaking the fourth wall.
Scene 1: Sun, Moon, and Talia.
The story that I'm going to tell is one that is my own. A girl lay asleep, and I was so captivated by her beauty that I couldn't resist myself.
So what did you do?
She's so perfect, so still and easy to possess. She was mine, so easily attainable. She could not resist, and I did not ask. From her fragile body, she gave birth to my children, without ever opening her eyes.
How could you take advantages of a woman just because she couldn't move or speak?
Are we all just dispensable objects measured by our science? Will men like you roam around like predators, believing that our stillness is an imitation?
You care for nothing beside your selfish desire, destroying everything for your satisfaction.
You claim such cruelty and boast of it, as if harassment were heroism.
Well, what can I say? Not only did I conquer her when she was in deep sleep, but I also freed her from the Spanish Wells course. I saved her life not through love, but by forcefully giving her a child. She awakens by accident, a splinter removed by her own child.
You didn't save her. You silenced her, and now you claim to be the hero of the tale, expecting praise and compliments for what you have done.
We are not objects or decorations to be played around with. We are not yours to claim.
We are done being behind the sidelines and being quiet.
You can do anything.
We are not planning to write your story, but rather spread the truth of your hidden story.
You get the sunlight. Hey, I'm kind of doing well. I got 57 years.
Scene 2. Queen of Hearts.
Fear is authority, where mercy is weakness. I come at life and death because I hold power and created the law.
Do you think life is a game where only your rules matter and the rest of us exist as pawns?
I don't think so. As power and authority is based on desires and whether one is dominant enough to seize it. Where some may say, I'm irrational, I believe a ruler must be feared to be remembered.
The Queen of Hearts' words echo. What she does not see is that her subjects are not just pieces to be played but are human beings who deserve compassion. Her cruelty and violence are not just character traits, but the consequences of powers weighed without conscience. It is her unchecked authority that makes her story so twisted and sinister.
Oh, how noble you sound. Talking about compassion and unconscious words that are meaningless for those who are powerful. A true, great rules must neglect useless empathy in order to survive.
It's ironic how she dismisses the very qualities that makes her kingdom successful. Her distasteful compassion does not reveal dominance, but rather fear. In the end, it is not nature that made her mistress, but the choices she continues to repeat without change or remorse.
Scene 3. Beauty and the Beast.
My story began as a transaction. My father picked a single rose, and the beast caught him. He said, either you stay here or let your daughter come. So I went, as I didn't want my family to suffer. After I arrived at the castle, I was imprisoned. Only if I followed his instructions will he provide me with food. The sense of pressure and threat made me cautious, as I dared not to provoke him. But over time, I started depending on him because I had no one else. Everyone later said I influenced him with love, rather, but it wasn't love. It was emotional manipulation guilt. I know that he didn't truly love me, and I didn't love him either. The only reason why he is kind to me is that I obey and serve him. But only did these who survive out of necessity. So this is a really painful for me. People call my silence kindness, my beatings nobility, and my captivity a beautiful love story. I was a girl who was treated, controlled, and forced to submit.
You're gonna call out the name. Call out the name.
Scene 4. Snow White.
Excavate my things. That's
They call my story pure and beautiful, but no one ever asks about the pain I carried. What you see is a jealous queen and a silent
a lot
princess.
to ask.
What I lived was survivor enduring betrayal by staying quiet and obedient. They told me to be kind, to be loved, be silent, to be accepted. I endured and still I was abandoned. That happy ending never exists. The glass coffin was not clipped, it was a prison. Silence was called out.
Silence was called out, but it hurts us.
I named it goodness without asking how we felt.
They call the queen's death justice. What is justice? Woman destroying woman while the real pain is ignored. I'm not a symbol of purity. I'm a girl who was forced to be silent. Today I choose myself.
I refuse to be defined by silence.
Our stories belong to us.
I'm no longer waiting to be saved. I stand here for myself.
Quick breath, right now? Oh, bro. I don't do shit.
Scene 5. Cinderella. In the original story, the glass shoe becomes a test, not a flow of endurance. The stepsisters want to be chosen. They cut parts of their own feet to force their bodies to fit the rule. Pain is treated as necessary, their bodies to fit the rule. Blood is hidden. Where the blood sees the spines, they do not intervene. They punish later. By binding the stepsisters' eye justice comes only after done when it is done.
I search for the one who fits. That's all I ask.
Cinderella lies not because she resists, but because she waits.
I'm kind, I'm tolerant, brave.
Her virtues, patience, obedience, silence led her to be rescued. The rescue is not freedom.
I survived by common small.
This is the message the story leaves behind. Female agency is limited, women are abused, then rewarded for enduring it.
Obedience becomes survival. Oppression becomes the rule. Thank you.
可以，
我觉得可以。下班。